Yeah. Okay. So as you all saw, there is a wider depression on the right, on the east part, and there is a narrower depression on the west. And this actually fort sits on the starting point of a river. There is a river called Lendi River. It goes to the Godavari, Mandra, Godavari, and all the water coming from Udgir city area that goes and that forms the river, and particularly the fort is sitting on the hillock uh, in the catchment area of that particular river, and that river, the catchment area of that river has been converted into a moat. It's not really a moat, constructed moat, but catchment area of the river converted into moat. So if you start from the entrance of the fort, so this is the entrance of the fort. This is the wider catchment area and the narrow area. If you go inside, there is a zigzag kind of a entrance, which is again typical to Deccan Sultanate period forts. And then first comes the wider first fortification level, and then comes the second fortification level, and then inside the inner fortification level, you will find other structures, including structures located on the various levels. So both the forts, Udgir and Naldurg fort, they are parallel to each other in the historical background, just as a Ausa fort. They both have origins going back to Chalukyas of Badami, and then they have today obscure kind of existence still almost Yadava period. Why I'm saying obscure? Because we really don't have much literary resources or any architectural evidence going back to Yadava period. What we have right now is from Bahmani period. For Ausa, for Udgir, and for Naldurg, all three forts, just like other Kandhar and Dharur forts in Marathwada, these forts were constructed, either reconstructed or constructed during Bahmani period by Mahmud Gawan. They remained important forts during Bahmani, and then after disintegration of Bahmanis, all three forts or all the forts in Marathwada region have been continuous struggle points for Nizam Shahi, Adil Shahi, Barid Shahi, and Qutub Shahi. Mughals have captured this area in the middle of 17th century. After Mughals, all these forts went under the occupation, under the capture of Asafjahi rulers, that is Nizams of Hyderabad. Again, after Nizams of Hyderabad, Marathas and Nizams kept kind of fighting for this region. Very briefly, in 1759, under the Treaty of Udgir, Udgir was brought under Maratha, but in 1761, after Panipat war, again it went to Asafjahi rule. Naldurg was in Asafjahi rule. It never came under Maratha regime. But for Nizams, English, there was a kind of English regiment in Naldurg fort. And Naldurg and Udgir, both the forts, during Nizam Shahi period, they were not really defense elements. They were never used as a defense elements, but they were both used as administrative structures. It remained, both the structures remained, both the forts remained under Asafjahi dominion till 1948, till the independence from Nizams of Hyderabad. What is the architectural significance of both the forts is, These fort, as Dr. Pushkar Soni says, an unique testimony of architectural responses to the changing techniques of weaponry and war in Sultanate period. Before, during Bahmani to Nizam Shahi, there have been evidences of use of fire weapons. And you will see, you'll definitely see the Brettisons or double inner fortifications as responses, or even standalone bastions as responses to the development in weaponry and changing war techniques. Both the forts are built noticeably higher grounds from surrounding. One on the both in the on the valley of the rivers. Udgir definitely creates an impression of a fort located on the higher grounds from the northern side, and gorge is used as a layers of moat. Both the architecture, for both the forts, architectural responses are in the form of double fortification. Then there is a walkway between double fortification, bastions, then the Brettisons and projecting rokas for the battens, multiple levels of gun holes, multiple levels of loopholes, then zigzag entrances, bastions of various shapes and sizes. At least there are circular bastions, but in Naldurg you will see different types of and different shape of fortification for the bastions, and then battlements also with the various type of machicolations or various heights of machicolations, loopholes, and arrow slits. While saying this, when we started this project in 2021, the fort was under severe neglect. One important thing we should understand is this particular area was is affected by 1993 earthquake. So all the forts in this area were almost under the ruins. Whatever damage has happened to this, these forts, that had happened because of the earthquake. But in 2010, before 2020, State Archaeology started large conservation efforts in this fort. After that, 2020 was the first time some conservation or repair work was carried out. This was the front portion of the fortification. These are some internal areas. You'll definitely see some there are some specific deteriorating condition. There are structural deteriorating condition due to aging, neglect, settlement. Then there are water-related conditions. Then there is a huge vandalism all over the fort. In Udgir, in Ausa, you are going to find people have written all kind of things. And most importantly, previous repairs, additions, alterations, those were done not really respecting the architecture of that period. There were some limitations, constraints working in that, those repair efforts as well, but they were definitely not done respecting the architectural features. Yeah. So these are more of the architectural, structural problems and previous repairs. So what call we took was, one, there are still some structures which are original. There are some structures which are not original, which are repaired heavily. But going back to its original level is not possible because we don't have any documentation left for that. So this is the state of preservation. There was vegetation growth was rampant. There was almost up till here, there was a grass. Going inside was very difficult. There are still stucco left in the structure. Bahmani period and Nizam Shahi period in Deccan is known for two things. One, rather three things. One, defense architecture. Second, water management, stucco. And I would say fourth for Charbagh pattern gardens. So vandalism is rampant in this fort. But okay, sorry, I just got a message that I will have to run fast. So this kind of repairs were undertaken, which has really no meaning, no architectural feature, and if we have to dismantle that, we don't have any documentation left. So site management was, again, this is not living monument. This is, so site management was minimum up to visitor amenities like street furniture, whatever, sitting arrangement, we'll have to give basic lighting, drinking water, signages, interpretation facilities will be included, just like AUSA, this showed in AUSA. And then there will be some pathways. Not everywhere there will be pathway, but there will be pathways in the areas. Then cannons will be conserved. One important aspect in this fort is now all these forts have lost any emotional connect with the surroundings. And are using it more as a garbage area, or just neglecting it as one of the just some old structures. And people, there are rampant thefts, rampant vandalism in this area. So it is important that to show people that it can also be an asset to your town. It is not some random structure sitting here, but there is an asset. And in last 2 years, when since the conservation work has started, we have seen the difference. People are coming inside, people are talking to us, people are asking for information. There are school trips going inside. So there is a change for sure. Within the fort, there will be these visitor amenities, and outside there will be visitor amenities. There is some documentation is complete. We are working on documentation of stucco right now. While, just like even here, while working on conservation, there was a scientific clearance done. And during this scientific clearance, we found some more water features, some walls which are not really decipherable walls. But water features, we are definitely going to conserve this. That is a part of phase 2 of the project. Again, in earlier repairs, there was heavy layer of cement on the entire, or at many places. When we removed this cement layer, we got this older niches inside. So we are taking advantage of that and using it as a template for other areas, also for niches. Work is still going on right now. Second is Naldurg. Naldurg is known as, it is a very peculiar fort. It is the largest land fort in Maharashtra. It has two. This particular fort is, this is, on the south is Naldurg Fort, and on the north is Naya Kila, or it is also called as Randamandal. It is a kind of a twin fort separated by the Bori River, and in 1566, there is a dam built on the Bori River, and now it serves as a defense feature as well as a Jala Mahal, or there are some kind of enclosures and hammams inside the wall, inside the dam wall. So overall features of the fort is this. Again, as I said, in this fort, bastions are of various types, various shapes, and there are two particular bastions. One is Upra Buruz. Upra Buruz is actually a standalone bastion. It is not connected to fortification wall anywhere. It is a standalone bastion, and it was used as there used to be a cannons on the bastions, and it was quite an intimidating point. Then the second is Naulakha Buruz. I am sure many people have heard, when you hear about Naldurg, you know about Naulakha Buruz. There is a 9 kind of petals to this, this particular bastion. And such, you will see many such, not typically such, but there are many circular, many half-circular bastions in this fort. So our first project was to, this particular fort is adopt a heritage scheme and it is taken care by Unity Multicons, which is a Solapur-based company. And they are working on this fort since 2014. Unfortunately, initially they had not worked with any plan. But recently, they were asked to provide site management plan, and we worked for site management plan on their behalf. Actually, without site management, this fort has become a picnic spot. They have provided eateries inside. They have provided some, some lounging points. And there are vendors, freely kind of wandering vendors around. One particular this feature in this dam wall, called male and female waterfalls, and that is a tourist attraction in this area, and people flock during monsoon. And so because of this particular feature, this fort has become a picnic spot. So our idea or our responsibility was not to deter a visitor who is coming for a good, what we can say, good time, but also to inform them about the fort and create more informed layers in the site management. So we particularly identified some spots from where you can see surrounding area, and you can understand why that particular bastion or why that particular point created in this defense is important. Then there is another part to, now we will be also working on conservation of the fort also. We are working on site management. Yeah. So these are some of the fort features. Right, there was a settlement inside the fort, but now that settlement has been removed. We'll be providing, along with the conservation and as part of site management plan, we'll be providing signages, we'll be providing viewpoints. We are creating information centers in various buildings inside the fort. One will be dedicated to the history of the fort, and another will be dedicated to Marathwada Mukti Sangram, which happened in 1947-48. There will be signages, drinking water fountains, and thank you. Sorry, I had to run fast because we have to vacate the hall. Thank you.